Life's like a drunk kid in a Lamborghini. It either rockets you to paradise or smashes you into hell. I'm Jake Miller, and I got the hell version. This isn't some sappy rom-com. It's my real story of getting betrayed, crushed by life, and clawing my way back like a true American badass. Ready for some drama? I'm Jake, 44, just a regular guy from Atlanta, Georgia. I had a decent life with my wife, Tiffany Brooks, 39, and our kids, Ethan, 9, and Ava, 5. We weren't rich, just happy with a small house, a rusty pickup truck, and Friday pizza nights. Then, 3 years ago, a drunk punk in a Lamborghini slammed into me. My spine turned to scrap metal. Medical bills piled up like a bad joke. Insurance? Total scam. It barely covered a fraction of the costs. We burned through savings, maxed out credit cards, and still drowned in debt. I dragged myself back to work, despite the pain, to keep our house. Tiffany? She started acting cold, blaming me for our mess. Then came the real gut punch. She didn't just drift away. She stabbed me in the back worse than that crash ever could. Want to know what she did? Stick around to the end, because this plot twist will blow your mind. If you're ready for drama juicier than a Hollywood blockbuster, hit that like button, subscribe, and ring the bell. Don't miss the end for a twist that'll leave you speechless. After that Lamborghini turned my spine into a jigsaw puzzle, life didn't just hit the brakes. It crashed and burned. My family went from pizza nights to scraping by on ramen. I'm Jake Miller, and this is how my world fell apart in Atlanta. Medical bills stacked up to over 200 grand. Surgeries, pins, plates, and painkillers cost a fortune. Insurance laughed in my face, covering maybe a third. We drained our savings in months. Debt collectors called non-stop, their voicemails like nails on a chalkboard. I felt like I was drowning in quicksand. Tiffany, my wife, used to sing lullabies to Ava. Now she snapped at me like I was the enemy. She ditched her part-time gig for a full-time job at an event planning company. The pay was better, but she came home exhausted, glaring at me. If you hadn't rushed back to work, Jake, we wouldn't be in this mess. Her words cut deep, but what could I do? I went back to the warehouse way too soon. Every box I lifted felt like a sledgehammer to my spine. I popped painkillers like candy just to survive my shift. By the time I got home, I collapsed on the couch. Ava would climb onto my lap, begging for a bedtime story. I'd mumble, "Not tonight, kiddo," hating myself every time. Ethan, my 9-year-old, started acting out. He'd throw toys or yell for no reason. He could feel the tension, even if he didn't understand it. Our house turned into a pressure cooker. Tiffany and I fought over everything. A spilled coffee cup could spark a screaming match. Our lifestyle took a nosedive. Friday burger runs? Gone. Netflix? Cancelled. Our yearly lake cabin trip, where we'd roast marshmallows. A distant memory. The fridge held cheap cereal and clearance rack junk. Soccer league for Ethan? Too expensive, and we couldn't afford the gas to drive him. No new clothes for a year. Ava's shirts pinched her shoulders, and it broke my heart. We stopped inviting friends over. The house was a mess, and we couldn't afford to host. Date nights with Tiffany? Forget it. We used to sneak out for a beer, but now we were too broke and tired. Tiffany's new job kept her out all day. She'd rush home, throw dinner together, and snap at me for not helping more. "I'm trying, Tiff," I'd say, but she'd roll her eyes. I promised I'd fix things with a promotion at work. She just scoffed, "Sure, Jake. Keep dreaming." Her doubt stung worse than my back pain. The fights got uglier. Every little jab turned into a full-blown war. "You're dragging us down," she'd yell. I'd fire back, "You think I want to live like this?" Our voices echoed through the house. Ethan hid in his room, and Ava clung to her stuffed bear. Then came the wedding invite. Tiffany's friend Brittany was marrying some rich dude in Miami. A 3-day extravaganza of fancy parties and champagne. Tiffany was hell-bent on going. I begged her to skip it. With my back, I couldn't handle the kids alone. "Jake, I deserve a break," she snapped, her eyes flashing. I tried to reason, "Just go for the ceremony, not the whole circus." She wouldn't budge. "I'm not your maid," she shouted. We argued for weeks, each fight worse than the last. Finally, she swore her mom, Linda, would help with the kids. I gave in, thinking we had a plan. Big mistake. The day Tiffany left, I came home to chaos. Toys everywhere, dishes piled high, no dinner. She stood there, suitcase packed, dressed like she was hitting a red carpet. "I didn't have time to clean," she said, shrugging. "You'll figure it out." Mom's coming." She walked out, leaving me with Ethan, Ava, and a back screaming for mercy. I called Linda. No answer. I cooked mac and cheese for the kids, cleaned them up, and tucked them in. My spine felt like it was staging a riot. Linda never showed. I was furious, but too exhausted to fight. Tiffany's Miami wedding trip was like a grenade tossed into our crumbling marriage. She insisted on going, eyes gleaming like she'd won a VIP pass to paradise. I pleaded, "Tiff, I can't handle the kids alone with my back like this." She just smirked, "Jake, I need to live a little. You'll survive." Her words hit harder than any punch. I suggested she just attend the ceremony, not the 3-day party marathon. "One day, Tiff." "That's it," I said, almost begging. She laughed in my face. "You want me chained to this house forever?" She shot back. We fought for a month straight. Every conversation turned into a battlefield. She swore her mom, Linda, would help with Ethan and Ava. I agreed, clinging to that promise like a lifeboat. The day she left, I dragged myself home from the warehouse. My back throbbed like someone was drilling into it. The house was a war zone, toys scattered, dishes stacked, no food ready. Tiffany stood by the door, suitcase in hand, looking like a movie star. "I didn't have time to cook or clean," she said, cool as ice. "Deal with it. Mom's on her way." She strutted out, leaving me with 2 kids and a house in shambles. I called Linda. No answer. I tried again. Nothing. My stomach twisted like I'd swallowed a brick. I scraped together mac and cheese for Ethan and Ava. Ethan ran around like a tornado, while Ava cried for her mom. I tucked them in, my back screaming with every move. I collapsed on the couch, feeling like a failure. Linda wasn't coming. I knew it deep down. The next morning, Linda texted, "I'm out of town with friends, Jake. Sorry." My blood boiled. Tiffany knew her mom wasn't coming, yet she bailed anyway? I called her, voice shaking. "Tiff, you lied about your mom. I'm dying here." She was at some loud party, music blaring. "God, Jake," she said she'd try. "It's just a weekend. Man up." She hung up, and I saw red. I called my boss at the supermarket, begging off for the weekend. "You're killing me with this last-minute crap, Jake." He growled. I apologized, but what choice did I have? Tiffany was sipping cocktails in Miami, while I was stuck with 2 kids and a back ready to quit. Ethan threw a fit, tossing toys everywhere. Ava clung to me, asking, "Where's Mommy?" I forced a smile. "She's at a party, sweetie. She'll be back soon." But I wasn't so sure. Tiffany's calls were short, her voice distant. She'd giggle at texts I couldn't see. One night, I glimpsed her phone screen. A message popped up, "Can't wait to see you, sexy." My heart sank. I wanted to believe it was nothing, that 12 years of marriage meant something. But the signs were screaming. Tiffany wasn't just at a wedding. She was running from our life, from me, from our kids. I lay awake on that lumpy couch, my back throbbing, my mind racing. Something was wrong, and it wasn't just the mess in the house. Tiffany was slipping away, and I was too broken to stop her. The storm was coming, and I was about to get hit hard. When Tiffany came back from Miami, she wasn't the same. Her eyes dodged mine, and she smiled at her phone like it was her new best friend. I'm no detective, but the late-night texts and sneaky giggles told me something was up. Our house felt like a boxing ring, and I, Jake Miller, was about to take the hardest hit yet. One night, with Ethan and Ava asleep, I couldn't take it anymore. I sat her down, heart pounding. "Tiff, I know you're hiding something. Are you cheating?" I braced for a fight, expecting her to deny it. Instead, she leaned back, smirking. "Wow, Jake, you finally caught on." "Yeah, I'm seeing someone. And I don't regret a damn thing." Her words hit like a freight train. She spilled it all, casual as if ordering coffee. At Brittany's wedding, she hooked up with Chad Vanderbilt, a so-called entertainment mogul DJ. "Chad makes me feel alive," she said, her voice dripping with disdain. "You? You're just a guy whining about his back and bills." I clenched my fists, staying calm. "Chad's got a mansion, parties, connections," she went on. "Brittany married rich, and now she's living the dream. Why can't I have that? I'm done with this broke, miserable life." Every word was a knife, but I kept my cool. I'd secretly hit record on my phone. Poor? Sure. Stupid? Never. I asked, "So what now? You want out?" She nodded, cold as ice. "I want a divorce. Chad will take care of me. Oh, and I'm keeping the house. You can't afford it anyway." The house where Ethan drew on the walls, where Ava took her first steps. She wanted it for her and Chad. I didn't have the cash for a fancy lawyer. We agreed on joint custody, but she got the house. I packed a bag, kissed the kids goodbye, and moved to my brother Rusty's place. His couch was a torture device, worse than my back pain. Every night, I imagined Tiffany and Chad in my bed, in my home. The kids visited, but it wasn't the same. They said Uncle Chad brought fancy toys, but their eyes looked empty. Tiffany quit her job, posting Instagram pics of designer bags and parties. Meanwhile, I ate ramen on Rusty's couch, feeling like a deadbeat dad. I kept going for Ethan and Ava, but inside, I was crumbling. Tiffany didn't just leave me. She abandoned our family for a shiny new life. I thought we were stronger than that, but she proved me wrong. The worst part? I still loved her, even after everything. Living on Rusty's lumpy couch, I felt like a washed-up boxer after a brutal knockout. My marriage was gone, my house was gone, and my spine was barely holding on. I, Jake Miller, was at rock bottom. But I had 2 kids who needed their dad, so giving up wasn't an option. Depression hit hard. I'd stare at the ceiling, wondering where I went wrong. Ethan and Ava's visits kept me going, but I hated how sad they looked. My back pain got worse, the stress eating me alive. I was popping painkillers just to make it through work. Then, one day, I collapsed mid-shift at the warehouse. I woke up in a hospital, tubes everywhere. The doctors said my spine was a mess and needed another surgery. I panicked, thinking of more bills. But since I collapsed at work, the company covered part of the costs. The surgery worked better than the others. My back finally stopped feeling like a war zone. I learned my lesson this time. No rushing back to work. I ditched my weekend supermarket job and focused on healing. Rusty handed me a flyer for a low-cost therapy clinic. "Fix your head, not just your back," he said. I rolled my eyes but went anyway. Talking about the accident, the divorce, and my guilt over the kids was like lifting a weight off my chest. I started hitting the gym, slow at first. Walking on a treadmill felt like a victory. Then I lifted light weights, feeling like a low-budget superhero. I could pick up Ava without wincing. That was everything. I threw myself into work, chasing a promotion at the warehouse. I worked extra hours, ignored the pain, and nailed it. "Don't screw this up, Jake," my boss said. The pay bump wasn't huge, but it got me off Rusty's couch. I rented a small apartment with a corner for Ethan and Ava. When the kids ran in, shouting about our room, I nearly cried. For the first time in years, I felt hope. I wasn't just surviving anymore. I was rebuilding, piece by piece, for my kids. Tiffany and Chad could keep their fake glamour. I had something real. While I was piecing my life back together, Tiffany's fairy tale turned into a horror show. One day, she showed up at my apartment, dragging 2 suitcases with Ethan and Ava in tow. "I can't handle them anymore," she said, eyes tired. "Chad says they're in the way." I stared, stunned. "They're your kids, Tiff," I snapped, but took them in. I was thrilled to have Ethan and Ava full-time. My health was better, and my apartment was a real home. Tiffany's story unraveled fast. Chad Vanderbilt, the mogul DJ, was a fraud. No mansion, no yacht, just a sleazy guy throwing cheap club parties. He'd promised Tiffany the world but delivered lies. He took her savings, sold her designer bags and jewelry, and left her with credit card debt. The house. Chad paid off the mortgage and claimed it, kicking her out. Tiffany crawled back to Atlanta, living with her cousin and begging for her old job at the event company. Her Instagram went silent, no more party pics. Her sister, Sarah, spilled the tea when she came to see the kids. Chad cheated with models half Tiffany's age, calling it showbiz. When she confronted him, he slapped her and said, "Deal with it." Sarah smirked. Tiffany swears she dumped him, but we all know he tossed her like trash. Tiffany tried playing good mom, bringing cookies for Ethan and Ava. The kids barely cared. "Your cookies suck compared to Dad's," Ava said, and I had to hide a grin. Tiffany wanted to reconnect, but I kept my distance. She's their mom, sure, but I wasn't letting her waltz back in. Seeing Tiffany crash felt good, I won't lie. She chose Chad's fake glitter over our family. Now she was back to square one, broke and humbled. I didn't gloat, but karma was doing its job. I focused on my kids, my health, and moving forward. Life was finally looking up. Just when I thought life was steady, it threw me a curveball, a good one. My lawyer, Marty Klein, called me, practically shouting, "Jake, we won the case. The drunk kid who hit me with his Lamborghini? His rich family got slapped with a $1.2 million payout. Compensation for my surgeries, therapy, and years of pain. I nearly dropped my phone. The money wasn't in my account yet, but I started dreaming big. Pay off medical debts. Buy a house with a yard for Ethan to kick a soccer ball and Ava to build fairy castles. Maybe even take them to Disney World. For the first time, I saw a real future. Of course, Tiffany caught wind of the money. Ethan, bless his heart, blabbed about Dad's big win. She sent a lawyer's letter, claiming she deserved a cut because she suffered during my recovery. I took it to Marty. He laughed so hard he choked. She's got no claim, Jake. This came after the divorce. Marty sent her a letter that shut her down cold. Tiffany fired back with texts, whining, "I held us together when you were hurt." Held us together? She was partying with Chad while I limped through life. I didn't reply. Not worth my time. Tiffany kept coming by to see the kids. I let her, because they're her kids too. But I drew a line. No drama in my house. My health was better than ever, thanks to surgery and gym time. I could toss Ava in the air again, and Ethan started smiling more. The money meant freedom. No more ramen dinners. No more couch surfing at Rusty's. I was looking at houses, picturing a backyard for the kids. Justice took its sweet time, but it showed up. And for once, I was ready to catch it with both hands. 3 years ago, I was a broken man. My spine was toast, my wife betrayed me, and my wallet was emptier than a ghost town. Now? I'm Jake Miller, single dad, with Ethan and Ava as my world, a fixed back, and $1.2 million coming my way. I'm closing on a house with a big yard. Life's finally playing fair. If Tiffany came crawling back, begging to reunite, I'd look her in the eye and say, "Tiff, you picked a wannabe DJ with an inflatable wrapped over our family. I'm good with my kids and my life. Take your drama elsewhere. I don't need her. I've got something better, real love, from Ethan and Ava. I'm even thinking about dating again. Nothing serious, just someone who likes me for me, not my bank account or my killer pancake recipe." Tiffany can keep her Instagram dreams. I'm building a real home, with a basketball hoop for Ethan and a treehouse for Ava. Life's still tough. Raising 2 kids alone isn't a sitcom. Ethan's asking about boy stuff, and Ava wants to paint my nails. Depression lurks, but therapy and the gym keep me grounded. Disney World's on the horizon, and Ava's already planning her Mickey selfie. Life hit me with a Lamborghini, but I got up. Now, I'm driving my own road, slow, steady, and mine. Tiffany's living her consequences, and I'm living my comeback. That's the real jackpot. If you laughed, gasped, or cheered me on, smash that like button, subscribe, and hit the bell for more crazy stories. Stick around to the end for the jaw-dropping twist, right? Maybe next time, I'll spill about Tiffany's TikTok influencer flop. Thanks for watching, and see you soon.